Hey, we're playing Count the Drummers on Carnival of Randomness.
I'm the third drummer, apparently, of something.
You're the third man, and I was thinking it's also like 6 degrees from Keith Richards because of the one time Keith and I have in common of both being detained at Newark Airport. Yeah, but it is March, and we have our lucky drummer leprechaun all year, Greg. So take it away, Greg.
Sure, Bigora, how are you, everybody out there?
Bring us some luck. Introduce our guest.
Bigora, yeah, well, I got my good friend John Liberatore right here. And I met John. He's a bassist.
Dilf.
In Dilf,
yes.
Yep. He's a bassist, singer, keyboardist, guitarist, works all over the damn place. I think he's taking my title as busiest musician in Rochester.
That's a tough one. That's, we should do remember when we looked for those horses? Those years we should do, who's the busiest? Okay, here's John. Here's Greg. He's in another band.
Say hey, John.
Hey, hello, everyone.
All right, that's John. Well, great show. Hey, we got to go. So,
no, thank God. But hello, Taco Bell.
But I met John in a band called Dilf. He was kind of helping us out, right? Mark Legat, a great band from the Waterloo area. And, I mean, I got to know Auburn and, like, all these little places through him and... Fun time. Tell us about that one,
I think it was about 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
We've been friends.
Yeah.
So,
so John,
great band.
You're in a bunch of stuff. So why don't you just give us an overview of the projects you're doing, the Billy Joel and all that kind of stuff.
Well, my main project is the Billy Joel Elton John tribute, which we are playing March 15th at Photo City Music Hall. You might want to check that one out.
Wait a minute, so it's a dual thing, both?
No. Oh, yeah, it's a duo thing. Billy will go first. We'll do about 15 Billy Joel tunes, like Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, New York State of Mind, you name it, we'll do it. And then we'll take a 15-minute break, come back on, do Elton John, anything from like Funeral for a Friend, Tiny Dancer, Rocket Man, Yellow Brick Road, all the hits, Crocodile Rock, Saturday Night's All Right.
So do you do like a quick, is there all big costume change and all that?
Only in between Billy and Elton.
Oh, right, Greg, you as Elton.
Yep.
Oh,
Greg could be Elton.
That's just like the big shows they've done, like stadium tours and stuff. But it's interesting talking about Waterloo and Auburn because for a while I was going to a lot of shows. There was like my friends were playing at that one. It was hilarious. One time, Fox 45 was playing at a place in Auburn. Everybody missed it. Had to go looking because the GPS had the old location. And I'm bad with names, but I always would get. I think the toll people hate me there because I would always go. Have you seen Napoleon? When I got off at the Waterloo exit.
Well, last night my friend played with his Tom Petty band at that Lizards Lounge in Waterloo, and John and I know Lizards Lounge very well.
And I just played Lizards Lounge with the Ario tribute, which I'm in.
Okay.
January 18th.
So what's that band all about? Obviously, REO Speedwagon.
We do all REO Speedwagon. Mike Speranza's the leader. He does Kevin Cronin, phenomenal singer. Sounds just like Kevin Cronin when we do REO.
Does he over-enunciate like Kevin Cronin?
Absolutely.
Can't help this feeling.
He could easily replace the real Kevin Cronin in REO Speedwagon.
Somebody should.
I had a friend who couldn't get it right, who was always calling it Rio Speedwagon. Because it's named after, something? There's actually, if you go to Artisan Works, right as you go in, there is an REO Speedwagon right there.
Yeah, it's a little red wagon.
Yeah, it stands for something. It's like some Illinois wagon or whatever.
Oh, right. I don't know. I had to look that up. I have no idea.
I'll send you next time I'm down there. I'll get a picture of it for you. It's cool.
I love my little red wagon. Now they make them out of plastic. That's
Miranda loves Miranda Lambert loves the little red wagon.
But how did you get into playing music in the first place?
I started playing when I was 8, and my cousin Johnny Paulson, who plays in Paulson, Baker, and Garvey, got me started. Okay. Johnny Paulson. He's like James Taylor when he sings and plays acoustic guitar.
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
Yes. I started out on piano when I was 8, switched from piano to bass at 12 after seeing Rush on TV. And then I didn't really start playing guitar until I was like in my mid to late 30s. So
That's pretty good, though.
And I'll never be a drummer either, so...
Yeah, well...
No, you're a musician.
I'm still working
I'm not
on
as
it.
coordinated to be a drummer, so, yeah.
I tried one time, and what I'm doing is I'm hitting with one hand, then I do this and my other hand stops.
So,
Kind of like Charlie Watts.
So, yes, those are my 3 instruments that I play.
Yeah, well, that's great, though.
Yeah.
See, I mean, you're multi-talented. I mean, I learned a little piano in college, and a little bit of guitar, and then I just never... I mean, I know enough to mess around and bang out some chords, but other than that, I can't play.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Like a lot of my friends, I can't believe how many instruments they can play and play well. It's like for me, I would think it would be like speaking a language. Like if you don't do it, you sort of forget. Like somebody just picked.
Yep.
All of a sudden, I remember Rob Mount like in high school, and he's like excellent
50-50 drummer.
Yeah, we went to high school together and friends. He's
I know Rob.
Great drummer.
Great drummer, great guy.
Great drummer, drummed everywhere. But you've never seen.
Yeah, he was on here a couple times.
He would play. Yeah. But he could play guitar just as well. Even like I remember some of my friends who played guitar. Like we're gonna, wow, he's better than us.
Yeah, that's something I've always admired. Is I just haven't cracked that one yet because I stuck with what I know. I figure, well, drums is where I'm seem to be good at, so I'm just.
And you're great at it.
Well, thanks, man.
And I think too, you have to, a lot of practice, really wanting to do it, working hard. You could ask like a piano teacher even maybe about it. That yes.
Andy teaches piano.
But still, you might just somehow just not have the innate talent to be great. You can be good, like a journeyman, but some people just are just skilled that way. They can read, like Mozart could like do music in his head. Like Greg on the drums, sort of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's funny because when I'm playing, I can see the drum part in my head, like if I was reading it on a piece of paper. It's kind of bizarre how that connects.
That's like Einstein thinking, because supposedly he would like visualize, like seeing, like he would see like ladders climbing, or he could think visually like that, which is good. No, you always look like you said the other show. You look like you're bored because you're so relaxed back there, like.
Yeah, I'm looking around. Ooh, wonder what time it is.
No, you should have like the one thing you get with one day. Eat a taco with the other.
Should I have a coffee tomorrow or a latte? What should I have?
But that's the one thing I was going to ask too. Like going from John to you though, how's like the one thing I never got? I really respect are drummers who can sing while playing. Is that tough?
No,
it's
not for me.
It's tough, but the thing that you got to be careful of is. Messing up your tempo because sometimes it's easy to slow down or speed up when you're singing.
Greg's got a great voice.
Yeah, he does.
Thank you,
I always say about Greg, he'll write like 2 or 3 songs a year, but they're great.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, well, once I can get back up to singing full bore, I'll be a lot better off.
You're waiting for your rock opera.
And on that note, I will triumphantly report that I have had the. Evil feeding tube taken out of my tummy, so now I am tube free. So that's going to make my life a whole lot easier. You should have been acting
the scene from Aliens.
That's right. That little bugger won't go back in there again. I tried to watch Alien Romulus the other night. I started watching it, and I'm like, it's a snooze fest. I don't know. It's like younger kids, and then they find the ship, and it's like then the creatures are in there incubate. I don't know. It's the same thing over and over. But, I mean, I didn't give it a fair chance.
And ladies and gentlemen, back to Carnival of Randomness, like back to music.
Well, yeah.
So, John, how did you get into doing, in terms of music, what brought you to doing cover bands?
Lack of money?
No,
helps.
That's not it. I don't know. My first band that I got into, I was young, didn't know any better. Mariah was my first band.
Oh, wow.
Then I just took off after that. I just started, and then I started rehearsing my ass off. I can't say that word on the air.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, we're not radio. You could say stuff
okay.
on it. That's why people love being on, especially radio show hosts.
I just got into playing, and then my first party band was Intruder.
So I heard of them. Yeah.
Then I just started practicing really hard. Took in a lot of negativity from people. You shouldn't do this. You should be prepared. Blah blah blah, and all that. And then I'm just, people call me all the time now.
That's how you learn, though. You know, you got to take some knocks to get...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you're like start at point A and you're the same at point B or C, you're not learning, you know?
So I do play in a couple tribute bands, and I play in a couple regular just party rock cover bands.
And you and I do a duo every now and then.
And Greg and I, yes, we just recently did a duo a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and we call it All Fired Up, and it's just electric drums, and John plays guitar and sings a bunch of tunes, and I do some harmonies, and it's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Was it a nod to the Fastway song? All Fired Up?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, no, I don't even know where that name came from, because, Nate Coffey and I, who was another great musician in the area, him and I started the duo about 3 years ago, and then when Nate had a gig, I would call Greg to fill in.
I think I just came up with that name as it's just something. I just figured, well, because we're all excited about playing.
We actually used to be called Double Trouble. Then we got sick of that name and then switched it over to All Fired Up. Yeah.
I always just know that's a concert memory. Was it Scott King? I don't know if it was, who was the lead singer of Fastway. Doesn't really matter. But they opened for somebody.
Rush.
Somebody threw it was Rush? Okay,
I saw that show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I saw every show at the War Memorial in those days, but the mind goes.
I saw Rush 44 times, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Somebody threw a beach ball, and he started serenading the beach ball on stage, which is like one of my memories.
So maybe John can answer the washing machine question. Mm-hmm. What was the washing machine deal with the tour?
I have no clue.
I heard, didn't Getty say it was something to block like the open spaces or something?
Probably.
'Cause I saw the chefs.
They have some really off the wall sense of humor. So
People don't get that about
Well, they're Canadian.
People don't get how funny they are, though. Like, if you go to a Rush show, they have little movies before they start, and they're playing these, like, Getty's a Scotsman in one.
Yep.
And they're not like this super serious band. There's, like, a real sense of humor to them.
Yep.
What was the first time you saw Rush? What tour?
First time I saw Rush was May 12th, 1981 at the War Memorial. It was Moving Pictures Tour. Then I was hooked after that, and I saw every tour until the final one.
It's the only one I saw Signals. That was my first one. And the last time I saw them actually was the Time Machine tour. I think it was
I saw that 3 times.
I saw that at Darien Lake, and that was the best drum solo I've ever seen by anybody.
Probably my favorite tour that I saw, which I saw 5 times, was Hold Your Fire tour. I saw 5 times.
Wow.
That's one of my all-time favorite shows.
I don't even remember all those.
That was my all-time favorite shows, that one.
Tour.
Except I almost got crushed up front. You remember Getty saying, all right, everybody move back? That was I was one of the ones that was going to die. I had literally, I was dripping with sweat, had to grow out, was getting dizzy, had to drink water and come back in.
On the Hold Your Fire tour, I saw Rush 3 times in 1 week.
Wow.
Rochester, Buffalo, and Utica when they used to tour all those places.
Wow. So let me ask you about Rush. So my first thing with Rush was obviously the early stuff, like the Working Man. And
yeah, my favorite album's Fly By Night.
Okay, that's a good album.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to ask you, did you prefer the more heavy band, or did you like the prog band more?
Well, my first...
Because I started to like them after Moving Pictures.
So my top 3 albums are Fly By Night, Crest of Steel, and then a kind of sort of newer one that was written in the 90s, Vapor Trails.
Okay, so you kind of like the older style.
Vapor Trails is more of harder edge geared to the older
and
stuff.
isn't that the one after Neil's unfortunate deaths of his...
Yes.
That he came
One
back
Little
and,
Victory was the song.
Yeah, and I've read all his books, and like he's the one about the Healing Road, where he's like, this was a matter of if I was going to go on living or not, and it's like going through those tragedies and everything.
Yeah,
then
that album was written after.
Then when you hit One Little Victory with that drum opening, that great drum opening.
Well, One Little Victory is actually about him. So, yeah.
But one of the ones, there's a cover band called YYZ that played on either Alexander's or whatever on Buffalo Road.
Yeah.
They're the only cover band I've ever seen. They actually did a lot of Caress of Steel.
Oh, wow.
And they never played in concert, really.
Yep.
You know, maybe if you like, you remember them playing it in concert?
No, but my friends out in Buffalo who play in the analog gigs, they do a lot of from Crescent Steel.
I mean, there's so much. I've always said this is my one thing about cover bands. People want to see the hits, but a lot of times too, you got some hardcore fans. They're going to appreciate playing, but you know, like the story behind the story of the title of Bytor and the Snow Dog.
Yeah.
Yep, because there's a dog biting everybody in the studio.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, it's so serious. Yeah, right.
So.
What do you like the most about playing? You like playing live or the creativity or what, you know?
I don't know. I guess I just...
Or all of it.
All of it.
You know, there's
Pretty
something.
much.
This is
nothing in particular.
Yeah.
This is like a sort of a pun, but it's the carnival, right? I think for both of you, there has to be like a sort of a rush to playing. You get up there in front of an audience. You ever
I see
feel
what
like
you did there.
And I always, you're a bright boy. And I always say that about my theater friends because a lot of them, more than musicians even, they're really like super shy off the stage, and they get to become these other characters. But I always say to them, you know, there's like this high of performing, and then that's some of the problems, like, you know, bands on tour, why they, so we say self-medicate, because you get off and you're all got the adrenaline going and everything. You don't know where to stop. And I think there's something about performance, and I mean, it's just for both of you, too, when you perform, I don't know about you, Craig, at this point, but is there like a little, like, in the stomach still, like little butterflies before you go on?
I don't get that anymore.
Well, like last night a little bit because we only rehearsed a day, really. We only did one night of rehearsal with the whole set, and then I met with Don Anonymous a couple times on my own to learn a couple of his new things. I mean, you know, an hour here, an hour there, and then we did a couple hours with the whole band. So yeah, I want to, you know, you're always like, man, I got to make sure is this the one that goes like this? Is this the one with the break? Is this the, you know, so you're kind of doing a checklist in your head at the last minute, but you know, once the song starts,
I'm so used to playing it, like in any situation, nothing phases me.
Yeah, right. I mean, I kind of feel that.
I like that. I like that answer though too, because I like the sense of confidence, and I don't care what people say about me. I know I'm pretty good.
Usually, once a song gets rolling, I'm like, oh yeah, this one, okay, you know.
I was just recently called a month ago with 24 hours in advance. Hey, our bass player has COVID. Can you play? And I'm like, sure. I'll be ready. So, yeah.
What that's like, sort of like, was like Rob Halford at a fill-in for Black Sabbath. He's listening to the tape in the car on the way to the show.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. That's like professionalism and everything like that. So that's also, too, how is it adjusting to the various cover bands and tribute bands to the different styles?
Well, right now, because, you know, after time, you get to build a repertoire of songs. And usually, like, when a band calls me to fill in, I mean, I'm not really that cheap when I fill in. I do have a certain set rate.
Well, you should. If you're good, you should be paid for it.
But now it's like if a band calls me, hey, can you fill in? I'll be like, let me see if I'm available. If I'm available, I am. Usually when they send me a set list, I'll only have to learn like 5 songs from the set list.
Right. I mean,
because I already know most of them.
Most of us, if you've been playing a long time, you know 80% of what a band is doing. So you only have to really concentrate on the stuff you never heard before.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
so I get that.
That sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
But then it seems like, too, the diversity of the music you play. We're talking Rush a lot, with like Billy Joel and Elton John.
I listen to a totally different type of music when I'm not playing. So, yeah, I listen to a wide variety.
Yeah, me too. I agree with that.
That was like my good friend Pat Barry's from Kentucky. He had a band called Crazy Tree, and this was like literally, if you saw him, he became Ozzy. Now, it turned out later that, you know, he's just like country music, Bob Seger.
Oh, I like country. I like Miranda Lambert. I like the band Perry. I like Eric Church. I like Jason Aldean.
Eric Church is the best.
Yeah, I like Toby Keith. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, you're also doing, people don't understand, like, musicians.
Martina McBride, I love her.
Yeah,
she's great. Yeah.
I actually, the Baron played some Steve Earle yesterday, which was really good. But a lot of times, too, they don't get to, like with everything like this, theater, everything else, it's a bit of a performance, too.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean, like, you're playing death metal. You like death metal? Not really, but it pays the bills.
Well, I listen to Testament driving in the car. I like Testament.
I like some of it. Some of it to me.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden was just one of my top 1980s.
Yeah.
1980s.
Yeah.
They're one I saw a lot, like in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Because of it's good. But some stuff some stuff like for thrash and everything.
And then I listened to Chick Corea, like Andy Calabrese and Marcus Miller, and then Stanley Clarke, John Patitucci. All those.
Don't you find that when you listen to a variety of music, it all gets in your head, and then it all sips in, and it's like you incorporate it into everything you play?
Yes.
Because if you have to play, like, okay, play something really cool here, and then, or whatever, somebody says, oh, I want you to
See, but that gets me in trouble because sometimes drummers say, you overplay. So, yeah.
Well, it depends. If it's a spot where you can overplay, then you've got stuff to draw from. If you've never listened to the guys improvise, then you won't know what to do.
Yeah, my old bass teacher, rest his soul, Ralph Ortiz, always told me less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a hard one. That's a hard one for people to get, but you're there for the song, and it's all like I said last week. We were talking. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
So when you're playing with a band, each person has to be listening to the dialogue of the other person.
Yeah.
It's like stepping over while somebody's talking.
Yeah.
So
the old term we used to use was wanking. Where, like, if somebody just all of a sudden, it's like what a wanker, because they start going out playing too much there and everything like that. I think there's also, like, okay, for cover and tribute bands, people are going to come and they pretty much want to hear as is, how they're played. But, like, in a regular different band, like your own band, you can fiddle around with these songs a bit and people don't care.
Yeah.
I just started reading an Elton John biography called Me. It's pretty good.
That's on my list. I want to read that. I'm reading Steve Wozniak's book at the moment.
I just happened to see it at Debbie's house, my girlfriend's house. I said, "Hey, can I borrow this?" And so I mean, he really struggled in the whole songwriting thing for the longest time.
Yep.
And then it's interesting how a whole series of little things started happening. He played with Long John Baldry.
Yeah, Long John Baldry.
That's crazy stuff, man. I mean, when you realize, and then when he showed up here, he started wearing all the crazy clothes and the sequin shorts and things, and people still didn't quite get that he was gay, and it was like, it was very interesting.
It was interesting. It was like his first album or second album. They show him with the piano. He doesn't have like the weird duck suit or the weird. He became like okay, Liberace. You borrowed from Liberace's closet for what you're wearing.
And last week when I mentioned that that Lady Samantha song, that was from an album called Empty Sky.
Yeah.
Which I used to have. I don't think I have it anymore. But then he mentions that in the book. He's like, all of a sudden, he gets a call saying, hey, this American band, Three Dog Night, is covering your song. And then that kind of helped him. And then he did a tour of America, and here we go.
I remember there's like one album in the 80s he says it's like his worst album. But I forgot which one. I can't remember.
No, I'm sure there were a couple.
But he said, but it's also, too, because he had it. When did he find Bernie Taupin? Because he could write the music, but he couldn't write lyrics.
They've been together since day one.
Except for, I think, the Thom, like a couple that's like, he just left for, like the Thom Bell sessions and one other one.
Well, according to the book, some I don't know if it was Dick James or somebody else, some guy, when he was an in-house songwriter guy, some guy just handed him an envelope full of lyrics that Bernie must have given him, and the guy didn't probably bother with them, but Elton it just clicked with him right away. He said he just could write songs just reading the stuff. So.
And I think it's 70s. John, is there a particular era of Elton you like the best? Or is for me, it's the 70s, even though I like some of his later stuff.
I don't know. I just like a lot of his music, pretty much.
So I love Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, which I've been listening to a lot.
We actually do that one.
Yeah.
So,
and just about every song on that album. And a lot of.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that 11-17-70 album, if you ever get a hold of that one, listen to that.
That's the one with the picture, I think, where he just looks like a normal piano player.
Well, it's just the three of them in a radio station playing.
Oh, wow.
It's you got to get it, or look on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
That's my birthday, actually. 11-17, well, not 70, but they played in this radio station, and it is just kick-ass. Take Me to the Pilot, all those songs.
They knew, though. They knew it was a tribute to you.
Yeah.
11-17.
That's right.
Send gifts already. He'll take them early, everybody. He'll take them early.
That's right.
But that's the thing, too, is I think he's underappreciated as a piano player because he's like the Jayhawks, like for country.
Yeah.
That's like Elton John keyboards and some of their like Smile album and everything. And I think the same thing. And now also for Billy Joel, does you really do the same thing, like sort of from everywhere? Do you do any of like the real early stuff like Spring Harbor and all
we
those?
do like Zanzibar is an old
That's
one.
A great song. Yeah, I used to sing that one.
Rosalinda Eyes, The Stranger.
Yeah, but he's talking about like the stuff from
like
Turnstiles.
Cold Spring. Like,
we do a lot from Turnstile. I think Prelude.
Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
We do Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
Captain Jack?
Yeah, we do Captain Jack. We're actually doing that. We're doing Say
do you
Goodbye
say
to
masturbate?
Hollywood. We do say Goodbye to Hollywood and Captain Jack. We're doing that on the 15th. Yeah,
I love like the deep cut for some. No, that's for like people who got like the real fans,
Well,
or who got songs from the attic too. Because remember they released that.
Yeah,
one.
that's a great album.
We do like Uptown Girl. We do like New York State of Mind. Trying to think of what else we do. Moving Out, My Life.
Sounds like you cover the whole thing.
Prelude, Angry Young Man. We do.
You ever pull out like a song from Attila?
We do. What's that one?
I couldn't name one of the.
Vienna was
Vienna.
which is one of my favorite Billy Joel
I love
songs.
Vienna. That's one especially like.
Yeah.
I'll play that every now and then.
Vienna's
when I'm, like,
my
stressed
favorite.
Out.
Yeah.
Because it's that whole thing about, I know like one of my exes said that about me like when I was like 20s. It's songs about you in a lot of ways. And
I picked up a VHS at a shop, at a secondhand shop of his Shades of Grey when they played at Yankee Stadium or something.
Yeah.
That's an incredible concert.
Yep.
Now, tell us a little about Shades of Grey too.
Shades of Grey is more like classic rock. We do anything from, The Way by Fastball, The Weight by the band. We have a female singer, Karen Flack. She's awesome. She also plays fiddle. We do some of her songs. We do What's Up by Four Non Blondes. Trying to think of what else. We just had rehearsal yesterday. We do Little Red Wagon by Miranda Lambert. We do Middle of the Road by the Pretenders. So we do Summer of '69. So it's like all over the place as far as
who brings
rock.
these in? Does everybody in the band go, "Hey, why don't we try this one"?
Everybody has a say in like what we want to do, but but make sure it's a song that will work and go over. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to like sometimes just be a little nice and go, this one sounds good, but I don't think it's going to work. Actually, Fastball, good for calling that one out. I always liked
The Way's great.
They had like a little Beatles. I always thought they had like a little. Everybody has a little Beatles vibe when they sing.
Yeah, and then like in another Vice, which I just actually got into, which I booked to the end of the year with. We have a female singer. I sing a few. I do. American Girl, Blue on Black, Can't You See, Some Kind of Wonderful. She does like Brass Pocket, Bitch by Meredith Brooks. Bad Case of Loving You, just like fun stuff in that band too.
And I think there's a place I've always for like original and for cover bands because I think a lot of time, people want to go out and see a lot of people, they want to go out and have a good time and they want to hear stuff they know. And that's the thing.
That's what we try to do is do stuff that people know.
Now, you take requests, however, if like somebody comes up during like...
And the bands, normally not, but when Greg and I play and Nate Coffey and I play or Don Mancuso and I play, we do take requests.
Oh, good. I know I turned down that request of having us in a chicken suit in the one thing, Greg. You should be glad.
Greg and I even cover Valerie by Amy Winehouse.
Yep.
Oh, who sings it?
Somehow.
Who the heck sings it?
I do. I sing it. So, yeah.
That's like my good friend Steve Pizzuto and his one band, the Beaumonts, they would do. He actually wrote a song about Amy Winehouse in that band. But there's some people. Now, is there anybody, for both of you, that you would sort of you're sort of a bit intimidated to cover? Because you know this is going to be tough. You look like you're a pro. You're like, nah.
I'll play anything, pretty much. Maybe I'll have a little difficulty playing some Billy Sheehan songs, probably, but I would probably try to figure it out.
Try some Jaco Pastorius, like from Weather Report.
So
he tried to make me do a Billie Eilish, but I told him no. No, I'm just kidding.
One day we'll be doing it. You'll be doing it with.
We can do "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
Okay,
but Greg, if you're gonna do a cover band of Billy, what color hair are you gonna dye? Is it gonna be green and blonde or something?
It might be purple and green or something.
No, and I go back again, like going to like a Billy Joel. I think there's some artists they create there's like a feel about like where like this Billy Joel's New York City. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a vibe. Like, actually, I consider Paul Simon like that always, even though he's from New Jersey. You know, and there's other artists like wherever they're from, whatever. Mm-hmm. But Billy Joel, you get this feeling about New York.
Yeah.
And I think that makes him a little unique. I mean, that's.
Yep.
And have you seen his Madison Square Garden show?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but not all of it.
One of my friends went, and he said, like, Billy Joel's like, "What do you want to hear? What do you want to hear?" Just asking people during the show. And I think he's still doing that. Imagine that, like having a residency. And it doesn't at first sell out, but it ends up, selling out of the good crowd. Just being able to do that for all these years.
He's amazing, though. If you watch him, man, his percussiveness on the keyboards and the band he has is so tight. I mean, obviously, you have to be at that level. But it's just, I don't know. I just enjoy watching him because he throws a lot of styles in there. He'll have like the Latin thing, and then he'll have, then he'll have straight rockers, and then he'll have the ballads. It's very
he also
interesting.
Nylon Curtain. He almost tries to be like a little psychedelic.
Yeah,
a little bit like that. But also, I appreciate, and I've always wondered about like Guns N' Roses because sometimes they only do a couple albums, but they somehow keep the popularity, like if they tour or anything. Billy Joel stopped, I think, with River of Dreams. I mean, has he ever released anything after that? But he's had like 20 years worth of work. But he's going off this, and in an interesting way. Okay, everything he's done has been pretty good, and there's like nothing like now that people are like, that isn't up to standards.
Well, it's a lot of history to draw from when you go to one of his shows. He's going to try to make everybody happy, and you're always going to have a song you missed, But I don't know. I mean, I give him credit at his point in his career that he likes to play live so much. Most people are just like, oh, it's too much trouble traveling and blah, blah, blah,
You know what, people, I've been thinking about this lately because I'm like thinking of was like the outlaw music. Like Dylan and Willie Nelson are touring, and Willie's, 92, got emphysema. He has to do his weed by the things these days. But I guess he said like during COVID, he would sleep in his tour bus. Because he just loved it so much.
Yeah. John, you don't mind the traveling, obviously, right?
I love to travel. I'll travel anywhere.
Yeah.
I like that because
Professor, a little traveling music, please.
I used to always, I used to love to travel, but I just, now it's just I don't like it as much. I used to always go see friends all over. Actually, Bauman, he has his itinerary for the year for concerts. He just saw Blackberry Smoke in Pennsylvania.
They are great.
Yeah, but I'm not driving to Pennsylvania.
No.
See, back in the day, I might. That was like an adventure. You drive to Cleveland, see like Ryan Adams or somebody. But now it's like, okay, is it playing in Webster?
You're right.
How's the reaction too? Like, how the reaction is in Rochester. Like, if you play elsewhere, John, you get a good reaction?
Yeah, very good. I'd rather play out of Rochester than in Rochester. Nothing against Rochester, though. But
I always get a kick.
My favorite area to play is Buffalo. I love Buffalo.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I know Ron Rocco does, and a lot of guys do.
How is in terms of where do you play there these days?
We just played the Elton John Billy Joel tribute. Just played the Cave in Buffalo. It's one of my favorite places to play. We also played the Cove in Buffalo. That's a great place to play. My REO tribute is playing the Cave in Buffalo June 6th. So we like the Cave and the Cove. Those are probably the primary.
You ever play Jackrabbits?
No.
Actually, I'll give a shout out to my friend Megan Brown. Her band Grosh is having an album release at the Town Ballroom.
I've heard of that band.
They're good. I mean, they play here. They try to play here every now and then. They're good. But they're just releasing a new album out at the Town Ballroom on the 6th or something. Look it up on Grosh. That's not my job.
So we've had busy schedules. John and I were talking about it earlier. How I had a rehearsal yesterday, a gig yesterday, with Don Anonymous at the Skylark. I had Friday night at Smokin' Joe's with Brian Lindsay, and then I got tonight at Smokin' Joe's within the mix. And obviously I'm here. So John was saying...
More or less, as always.
And John was telling me... Go ahead, John. Tell him all the crap you've been doing this week.
So this week, I played with another Vice Friday night in Lions at the Poorhouse. Yesterday afternoon from 2 to 5, I had rehearsal with my other band, Shades of Grey. Today I have rehearsal with my other band from 4 to 7, another Vice. Tomorrow I have rehearsal 6:30 to 8:30 with my Billy Joel Elton John tribute for March 15th at Photo City. And then Tuesday I have rehearsal again with Shades of Grey for a show that we're doing on March 18th.
Dang.
Anybody who can remember that could win like a blow pop or something.
So is the Shades of Grey and the Billy Joel Elton?
And I just want to clarify everything about Shades of Grey. It's not actually named after the movie. It's actually named after someone's gray T-shirt that was in a closet. So, yeah.
So is that a Billy Joel thing, or is that something different?
The Shades of Grey is just a classic rock band.
Oh,
yeah, with a female singer, which I mentioned. Her name's Karen Flack. She's awesome.
And also think, too, like the difference between cover and tribute. When I think tribute, that's more like you try to like dress and sound all like them. Or cover. How is that like for vocalists that you've seen try, like you said, somebody could do a really good Kevin Cronin to try to do?
Well, my singer in the REO tribute.
Trying to get like how sing like they do.
Well, my singer in the REO tribute, Mike Speranza, is phenomenal at Kevin Cronin. And if you heard him, you'd be like, wow, he's Kevin Cronin. Yeah.
There's one AC/DC band like that,
great.
I guess.
Yeah.
My friend used to follow, I don't know if it was Ball Breaker or the other one, High Voltage, where they say, just close your eyes and you'll picture like the way Bon Scott sings.
Yep.
Or High Voltage.
That's Bonfire.
Bonfire.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's like a really tough, because I can't imagine, like, you're having to use a different voice when you're singing the whole time than your own. But that's like acting, too, in a way, so there's a little bit of theater to that.
Yep. Oh, a lot of theater.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know the moves, and you got to be able to emulate that person's body language and all that stuff. You know,
it's more than just your average rock show. You know, but that's why we have like such diversity around here. You can go see. That's the one thing that is about Rochester, or probably Buffalo. I just know a little bit about the scene there. Is you get to see all kinds of different stuff if you care to.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and if there's parking, which is sometimes funny. But this has been actually very interesting to hear about. Actually, it's like get called like a working musician because you do a lot. You do too.
He's definitely one of the hardest working guys out there. And no lie.
Yep.
And they all sound, I mean, it sounds like everything's going well, and like these are, like, you go out, you're going to see very fun shows. And is there anywhere we can have, like, does bands have sites or anything, or just Facebook?
Every one of my bands does have a Facebook page, so you can go to Facebook.
Because there are like 100 of them, like crazy.
Yeah.
You mention them again just so people remember them?
Yeah, everybody's amazed on how I can remember dates and where we're playing.
I can remember birthdays of people for some reason.
Yeah, run down the list of sites again, or bands, or whatever.
Yep, so. Yep.
Yeah, Greg, what do you have coming up?
Can you run down your band names?
Okay. So, the first band, which is my main band, is called Captain Fantastic and the Piano Man, which is a tribute to Billy Joel and Elton John. We play Billy first, we play Elton second. Second band is Riverside Avenue. That is a tribute to REO Speedwagon. We do all the hits from Can't Fight This Feeling, Golden Country, 157 Riverside Avenue, Roll With the Changes, Right in the Storm Out, Take It on the Run, everything. That's tribute. Next band is called Shades of Grey. We do all classic rock stuff from anything from like Summer of '69, Bitch by Meredith Brooks, What's Up by Four Non Blondes. So we mix it up in that band, a lot of different fun stuff. The Way by Fastball.
And all these have sites, Facebook pages.
Yes, everyone has sites. Also do Another band that I just got into, will be playing with all year. Another Vice, that Sherry Marie's band. She's the lead singer. And they have a Facebook page, too. And we mix it up with a lot of different classic rock, like Heartbreaker, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Can't You See, Blue on Black, American Girl. A lot of fun stuff in that band, too. Brass Pocket. Some Fleetwood Mac, so yeah, we cover it all.
I definitely know I can call you if I need a bass player.
and then I play with Greg, Nate Coffey, and Don Mancuso in a duo called All Fired Up. And we do everything, Greg, right?
We do.
Yeah, we do
Pretty
everything.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Petty to country to,
I'll even do my own shout-outs because my friend Casey, who's been on here, maybe she'll be on here for this if she's not rehearsing. She's doing her first solo gig ever at March 22nd at the Fairport Brewhouse.
Who?
Casey Lynn Lur. She plays.
I know Casey.
Yeah,
She's
Casey,
a great drummer.
She's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's playing.
Cool.
She warned me though, if you want to get there, there's like 45 people. It's a small place, so come down and support her.
Yes, also, I love her. She's great.
And also a friend, Alyssa Rodriguez.
I'm sorry, where was that?
It's at Fairport Brewhouse.
She's also a huge dog lover too.
Oh yeah, very big dog lover.
I gotta go see her then.
I'm gonna go. So
what's the date? I'm sorry.
20s. We'll be here.
Okay.
I'll tell you. I'll say
she's been very supportive of me when I play these Fairport things, and so she's a sweetie.
Oh yeah, she is. And also our friend Alyssa Rodriguez, who again, if she has time, she might be on here. People have to rehearse these musicians. Can you believe that, Greg? They have to rehearse sometimes. She has a book release at Peyton Violins on the 13th. It's also, actually the 15th.
Some people rehearse it. Some people
Greg,
will do anything.
No, you would love
that,
though. Peyton Violins, it's like just a cool spot to play, like for a mellow gig or something. And you're playing around a bunch of violins, which is awesome. It's like you can picture Larry Fine, and she's got a book released there. She wrote a big book about her things in Scandinavia and everything. She's also playing at the Little on Wednesday. But there, I got my own things in. So
wow.
And Greg, you have everything coming up you've mentioned.
Well, just tonight at.
I won't do any good. Well, it might, maybe.
Well, let's see. I have a couple things coming up. I have we have B-side later this month with Brian Lindsay.
Cool.
And I also have I have a jazz gig on March. I believe it's the 18th or something. It's a Tuesday. It's at Lila's there at the Hampton on Union Street.
Some keyboard player has been playing there is pretty good. I forgot who it was.
Yep, the 18th. It's a Tuesday. That's a fun place to play jazz.
Yeah. That means you're going to have to, play jazz drums, though. That's going to be tough.
And the 22nd at the B-side of March.
Always busy, though. And thanks for being on, John, too. It's been interesting.
And I have an eye appointment.
It was great. I had a really awesome time.
And because we have Greg brought some music to play.
I did.
Greg, you did? What kind of music?
I brought this band, Dirty Honey, from L.A.
I know, they just played The Vine, I think, not too long ago.
Yeah, they're a great band.
And do you have a song picked out or anything, or we get a surprise?
I got a song picked out, but I forgot the name.
Okay, so you're going to have to stay tuned to hear Greg's mystery song.
Yay!
And happy March, and watch out for those Shamrock Shakes. We'll see you later.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bye!